Hey everyone, welcome to probably the final part of my in-depth review of the new Eldar Craftworlds Codex. As always, my name is Jay, and in this video I'm going to be going over the heavy support and the Lords of War, and probably give my final thoughts. Yeah, so to sum up once again, the Eldar heavy support, basically everything either stayed the same, got slightly better, or cheaper, just slightly. Nothing got more expensive. I don't think anything in the Codex got more expensive. Maybe a couple things, but not very much. So we'll start off with Dark Reapers. Dark Reapers got cheaper. They used to be 30 points each, now they're 25. So 75 points gets you 3 Dark Reapers. And they have heavy aspect armor, Reaper launcher with Star Swarm missiles, and Reaper range finder. And they lost the ability to pin. I remember they used to be able to pin your opponents, I'm pretty sure. They lost that. But besides that, they're still pretty heavy, hitting. They have Ancient Doom and Slow and Purposeful, so they don't get battle focus. Makes sense. They have Inescapable Accuracy, a model with a special rule. Rerolls fail to hit rolls when firing a unit that zoomed, swooped, turbo boosted, or moved flat out during its previous turn. Fast Shot, X-Arc only. This is the Fast Shot. It got removed from a lot of the other entries, I think, but it's back here. You can fire an extra shot as normal. You can include up to 7 additional Dark Reapers for 25 points each. All Dark Reapers in the unit can take Starshot missiles for 8 points each. Maybe upgrade Dark Reaper to a Dark Reaper X-Arc for 15. The Dark Reaper X-Arc may exchange his Reaper Launcher for a Shuriken Cannon for free. Eldar Missile Launcher for 20 points. Tempest Launcher for 20 points. And he can take Starshot missiles if he has a Reaper Launcher for the X-Arc for 8 points. They can take Wave Serpent as a dedicated transport. Good stuff there. Second, we have the Val's Wrath Support Battery, which again, pretty much the exact same as before. It's 30 points. Used to be 30 points. Oh, sorry. It's used to be 30 points. Same price. Nothing changed. Still, you have a Guardian Crew, which is 4/4, Strength Toughness 3, 1 wound, Initiative 5, 1 attack. The support weapon has Toughness 7, 2 wounds, 3 up save, and there's also the ability to purchase a Warlock Leader. And so for 30 points, you get 2 Guardians and a support weapon. And they have Mesh Armor, Shuriken Catapult, and Plasma Grenades, and the weapon itself has a Shadow Weaver. The Warlock, you personally have a Rune Armor, which is a 4-up invulnerable save, Shuriken Pistol, Witchblade, Special Rules, Ancient Doom, Battle Focus, Fleet, and the Warlock is a Mastery Level 1. He can take Powers in the Demonology, Sanctic, and Runes of Battle Disciplines. And you can take up to 2 additional support weapons, each accompanied with 2 Guardians for 30 points each. May include a Warlock Leader for 35 points, and the Warlock Leader may replace a Witchblade with a Singing Spear for 5 points. All support weapons may replace their Shadow Weavers with one of the following: a Vibro Cannon or a D Cannon for 25 points each. Vibro Cannon for free. And that's it. So solid choice. If you love the heavy weapons before, they're just as good as before. You can take a Warlock Leader for them and have some fun. I'd recommend, if you want to take them, take 3. They're pretty nasty. They're just really nasty, and they'll stay in your back lines and just destroy stuff. Up next, we have the Falcon. Falcons weren't really used in most games. I still don't think they're going to be used that much. Yeah. They're Falcons. If you liked Falcons before, you like them still, but they're just not the most used heavy support choice. The most commonly used heavy support choice is now Lord of War. But, so there are still 12 around. Ballistic Skill 4, 125 points. Pulse Laser, Shuriken Cannon. Twin Leech, Shuriken Catapult. You take up to 6 models. And there's 1 fire point. It does get Cloud Strike, which I don't remember it having that ability. But the cool thing is that it's now become a squadron. Falcons, Fire Prisms, and Night Spinners, I believe, can all become squadrons, which save you on spots if you want to take heavy support choices or for purposes of the formations. It's pretty cool. And so Special Rules Cloud Strike of a Falcon Squadron contains 3 models. All models in the squadron gain Deep Strike Special Rule, which is pretty cool with what happens. The first one doesn't scatter, and the other ones don't scatter as long as they're placed within 4 inches of the initial one. So you can drop 3 Falcons on the table and light up your opponent. Have some fun. You take up to 2 additional Falcons for 125 points each. Any model may replace the Shuriken Cannon with one of the following: Scatter Laser for free. Wouldn't recommend it anymore. Star Cannon Bright Lance for 5 points, Eldar Missile Launcher for 15. Any model may replace his Twin-Linked Shuriken Catapult with a Shuriken Cannon for 10, and they take anything from the Eldar vehicle list. So, interesting stuff there. Now they're a squadron, and they can deep strike in if you bring 3 of them. Cool. Up next, we have the Fire Prisms. Fire Prisms are commonly used. They are pretty nasty, heavy-hitting things. And they're 125 points, which is the same as the old cost, 125 points. And for 125 points, you get a Fire Prism, front armor 12, side 12, rear 10, 3 hull points, ballistic skill 4, and it has a prism cannon and twin-linked shuriken catapult. But linked fire. Now, the Prism Squadron contains more than one model. You can, of course, link them, as you've been able to in the past. But now they're in a squadron, so you can't link it if you're bringing multiple Force Organs worth of. You can't link them, but if they're in a squadron, and you can link them. And basically, the fire shoots from a single prism as normal, adding 1 to the strength and subtracting 1 from the AP for each other fire prism in the squadron. For example, a squadron of 3 fire prisms, one of which is affected by crew stun. Result can only snap fire. Can only But yeah, basically you add 1 to the strength and -1 to the AP for each extra one. So it becomes pretty nasty. If you really just want to one-shot kill a vehicle or something, do it. So that's still going to be a very popular thing. I think a squadron of 3 will be taken in a lot of competitive lists for the Fire Prisms. Up next, the Night Spinner. Night Spinner used to be used a lot in 5th edition before they really nerfed dangerous terrain, because you used to drop it on like Terminators and hope they'd fail a dangerous terrain and just die. Not anymore. But Night Spinner is 100 points. So it used to be 100 points, it used to be 115 points. So we got 15 points cheaper. And it's Ballistic Skill 4, 12, 12, 10, 3 hull points. It has a Doom Weaver and a Twin-Linked Shuriken Catapult. But special rules, Monofilament Shroud. So basically it has the old Distort rules. Well, the old Monofilament rules. If a Night Spinner squadron contains at least more than 1 model, the squadron can fire a Monofilament Shroud instead of firing normally. Nominate 1 model in the squadron as the firer. The other models in the squadron cannot fire their Doom Weavers this turn. The nominated model shoots using the Doom Weaver's dispersed profile, adding 1 to the strength and number of shots fired for each other model in the squadron that could have otherwise fired its Doom Weaver normally. So that's pretty cool. You can include 2 additional Night Spinners for 100 points. And any model may exchange its Twin-Linked Shuriken Catapult with the old Shuriken Cannon for 10 points, and it can take from the vehicle list. Great stuff there. So if you liked them before, again. Warwalkers, another great choice. You can flank them from the side and they just become really nasty. I don't know if they still have Outflank. No, they have Scout. I think they could get them Outflank somehow. I don't remember. So maybe they don't have Outflank anymore. But Warwalkers are pretty nasty. 60 points. You get an open-topped, Weapon Skill 4, Strength 5, 10, 10, 10, Initiative 5, 2 attacks, 2 hull points. And it's an open-topped walker. You get 2 Shuriken Cannons and a Power Field. Special rules, Ancient Doom, Battle Focus, Fleet, and Scout. Options may include 2 additional Warwalkers for 60 points each. You can take a Scatter Laser for free, or may exchange a Shuriken Cannon for a Scatter Laser for free, a Bright Lance for 5 points, Star Cannon for 5 points, Eldar Missile Launcher for 15, and take from the weapons list. So again, I think people are going to take squadrons of 3 of these guys. They come onto the table, or they walk on, or they just annihilate things. They have so many shots and they kill stuff. They die pretty quickly if you focus on them, but they can kill stuff. They can wipe out horde armies like no one's business. And finally, in the heavy support choice, we have the Wraithlord. Wraithlords, pretty much unscathed. They Scatter Lasers got slightly different. Wraithlords, still 120 points each. You get Weapon Skill 4, Strength Toughness 8, 3 wounds, Initiative 4, 3 attacks, Leadership 10, 3 up save. They're a monster creature and a character. They get 2 Shuriken Catapults, and they have Ancient Doom and Fearless. May exchange any Shuriken Catapult for a Flamer for free. You take a Ghost Glaive for 5 points. May take up to 2 of the following in any combination: a Shuriken Cannon for 15, Scatter Laser for 15, Bright Lance for 20, Star Cannon for 20, Eldar Missile Launcher for 30. I think a really good combination would be Shuriken Cannon and a Bright Lance, or Shuriken Cannon and a Star Cannon. Would be pretty good and pretty nasty. And that's it. As I said, you can include up to 2 additional ones. And that's heavy support in a nutshell. Again, not a lot changed in this codex. They're all pretty solid. as they were before. Very few points changes, very few rules changes which apply to them, and they're just as good as they once were. It's a very solid codex, and I really think the heavy support choices are just as awesome as they were last codex, and not many people's lists are going to change that heavily other than the Wraithknight heavy lists, because we're getting to the Lords of War. Wraithknights are now a Lord of War. They got more expensive, but they get Gargantuan Monstrous Creature. So, for 295 points, you get a Wraithknight. They used to be like 225 or something, 230, let me see here, 240. So they went up 55 points, but they're no longer a monstrous creature. They're now a Gargantuan monstrous creature, so they get all the rules associated with a Gargantuan monstrous creature. Pretty cool stuff. And they're still weapon skill plus skill 4, strength toughness, strength 10, toughness 8, 6 wounds, initiative 5, 4 attacks, leadership 10, 3 up save. It comes with 2 heavy wraith cannons, Ancient Doom, and a Sword of All. If this model is equipped with a Ghost Glaive, you can give it a Ghost Glaive for and a Scatter Shield for free instead of the both wraith cannons, right? The sword and shield. It becomes Strength D. So rather than Strength 10, AP 1 or AP 2, it becomes Strength D, which is pretty nasty. Or you can take a Sun Cannon Scatter Shield for free as well. I think the Ghost Glaive Scatter Shield combination is going to be pretty cool. And you can take up to 2 of the following with ending combinations: Scatter Laser, Shuriken Cannon, for both, either of them for 15 points, or Star Cannon for 20. So basically this prevents people from mass spamming in the heavy support choices, the Wraithknight, but it allows you to take a Wraithknight and a bunch of Wraithlords, which is pretty cool too. Plus it's the formations, right? So that's pretty nasty. And I think it's cool. You know what? I'm not that upset with the Wraithknight being moved to the Lord of War, because it is a really nasty monstrous creature. It's arguably the best in the game. It's in the top 3 for sure. And it's hands down unstoppable in a lot of ways. Unless you have mass amounts of poison, it's toughness 8. Most things can't tackle that. It's a 3-up save and 6 wounds. It's really hard to take down. So now it's a Gargantuan, and it can no longer get access to the jump. So it's a jump Gargantuan creature. So you don't need to purchase anything. It's just a jump Gargantuan creature. So it's going to be fast, it's going to be maneuverable, and it's going to be really deadly. So it's still going to be a strong choice. It's just more expensive, but it has benefits being a Gargantuan. And yeah, I think it's pretty cool. And the final entry to the Lords of War is the Avatar of Khaine, who is still 195 points. So nothing changed with him. Pretty much nothing changed with the Avatar of Khaine, of the fact that now he's in the Lord of War slot. Weapon skill plus skill 10, strength toughness 6, 5 wounds, initiative 10, 5 attacks, leadership 10, 3 saves, 3-up save. Ancient Doom, battle focus, demon, fleet. And he has Khaine Awakened. The Avatar and all friendly units with the Eldar faction within 12 inches of the Avatar have the Fearless, Furious Charge, and Rage special rules. Now that's new. It used to be just Fearless, I'm pretty sure. Now it's Furious Charge and Rage. So, cool. Extra attack and +1 strength, so you may want to keep him centered in your army and just run at your opponent. He also has Molten Body. Still as before, he's unaffected by Pyromancy and Psychic powers. All Flamer weapons is defined in the rulebook, and attacks that have the Melta or Soul Blaze special rule. And he also has the Remnant of Glory, which in this is once again is Gory. Remnant of Gory. Spelling mistake. 12-inch range, Strength 8, AP 1, Assault 1, Melta, or Strength 8, AP1, Melee, Armor Bane. So, cool. Once again, if you liked him before, you'll like him now. I keep saying that a lot, but it's pretty much the name of the game with this codex. And then let's go over the final formation that I would like to go over, because it almost involves the Wraith, which I've covered a lot of the Wraith stuff in this particular video. So I figured it'd be a good way to sum it up. A Wraith Host. So the Wraith Host is a Spirit Seer, 3 units of Wraith Guard or Wraith Blades in any combination, a Wraithlord, and a Wraithknight. Restrictions? None. But special rules: battle focus, guided Wraith Sight, Wraith Guard, Wraith Blades, Wraithlords, and Wraithknights from this formation can re-roll failed hit rolls against enemy units that are within 12 inches of the Spirit Seer in this formation. Wow. 18 inches is pretty far. So if you keep him in the center of the board, your Wraith guys are just going to annihilate your opponent. That's really powerful. Reroll to hit rolls. That's huge. In close combat, I'm guessing as well. Like, that's huge. You know, very huge. So that's a really powerful bonus to the formation. And that's it. So let me go over my final thoughts of this codex, now that we've gone over everything. So basically, sum up the codex. In a nutshell, not much changed. In fact, it's kind of surprising that they made this a 7th edition codex. I was thinking that they were going to nerf hammer Eldar pretty heavily, since they were pretty much one of the strongest codices, if not the strongest codex, in 7th edition. This codex did not do that. In fact, it made them as strong, if not stronger, in a lot of ways. They did address a few things, right? They did address the laser lock, for example, and they did address the wave serpents. They made them slightly nerfed. They moved around a couple things. They moved the Avatar and the Wraithknight into the Lords of War, but their new formation, their detachment, and the summation of formations buffs these guys extremely. You can have ballistic skill 5 guys running around the field, shooting things to death, and it's just nuts, right? And once per turn, once per game, they get shred in some cases. It's just nuts what you can do with these formations, stacking them on top, like these rules. I think most competitive lists, other than the fact that they're going to take the detachments, I don't think they're going to change that much on what they bring. Maybe not 3 Wraithknights anymore. It'll be 1 Wraithknight. But yeah, it's a lot of power in this codex. I think they're going to be better psychic off now that the runes of witnessing warning have gotten better, because now it's runes of the Farseer, which just allows them to reroll once per psychic phase. That's really powerful. The fact that, you know, fire prisms, falcons, and night spinners can be taken in squadrons. That's pretty cool. The HQ, pretty much every section, everything just stayed the same or got cheaper. Nothing really got more expensive. I don't think anything got more expensive, which is crazy. You think something would get more expensive because it is such a powerful codex. That, unfortunately, was not the case. Everything basically stayed the same or got cheaper. And pretty much everything got slightly better in most ways. Rangers, I think, are going to be really cool because Rangers have Shrouded. And that makes them extremely powerful, and you can sit Rangers in cover, and I think they're going to be a go-to unit in a lot of ways, because Rangers are going to just sit in cover on an objective and be pretty hard to knock off with a 2-up cover if you stick it in cover. 2-up cover save, you know. Fast Shot was lost by a couple of guys, but they still have it in the heavy support choice guys. Now they have access to Sanctic powers. Going to be pretty nasty combinations. Eldar casting, you know, Eldar who are casting Sanctuary or Gate of Infinity, or even Vortex of Doom. All of them are nasty, nasty powers. And plus, if I think the Vortex of Doom is going to be particularly nasty, now that I think about it, in combination with the runes of the Farseer, because you can throw 4 or 5 dice now at the Vortex of Doom and get away with it, because you can re-roll them. So that prevents you from periling. Another thing that you can do is that other than the second power, where you can either throw 4 dice or 3 dice at it, and it changes the power. Like, it can be Apocalyptic Blast, ignores cover, extremely powerful. They got rid of the psychic power that was the death mission. No one ever used it anyway. No one liked it anyway, so that was good that they got rid of it. The D size got nerfed to kind of a weak D now. It's strength 4, and on a 1 or 2 it doesn't do anything. And there's no 6, so there's no D, 6 plus D6 wounds. Besides that, the codex is extremely strong. It's a very strong codex. I think Eldar players are still going to be top of the tournament scene, because this Eldar codex is going to be very strong. They kept in battle focus, and plus with the formation, if you take the detachment, a lot of your formations are going to be running with 6s. No more rolling, just running with 6s, and that's nuts. And these codexes, they still kept in, the Shuriken cannon rule, like the Shuriken rules that Bladestorm. That's going to eat through Space Marines, it's going to eat through Terminators, it's going to eat through most things. It wounds anything on a 6-up and is AP 2. That is very powerful. These guys are extremely maneuverable still. They're extremely good at shooting, and in a lot of ways, they just stayed the same or got better. So those are my final thoughts on the Codex. Pretty much everything's competitive. Like, this is a very internally balanced Codex, I find, because there are like 8 HQs you could take to have a great time. Almost any elite slot is awesome. Almost every troop slot is awesome. Every fast attack is awesome, other than, I don't know, Banshees in my opinion. Yeah. But Harlequins are gone. Oops. Not like anybody using them anyway in 6th or 7th edition. And the heavy support, every Every Force organization chart, you have a bunch of options that could be run a variety of ways and be just as competitive, just as fun, and just as deadly on the table. So it's a very, very strong codex, and I still think Eldar are going to be top of the tournament scene. Necrons are really competitive too, but Eldar are really, really good, and they're going to kick butt in Maelstrom of War. That's my thoughts. So what do you think? What are your thoughts on this codex? Thank you very much for watching this entire review. I really hope you enjoyed it. I had a good time thinking about it, and Eldar, can't wait to see them on the table. So thank you very much. Until next Codex review, this is Jay saying once again, happy paying.